Okay, so I just quit my job. Like, last Friday. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I need to tell you what happened, because I think I am losing my mind. My boss was this guy who everyone in the company loved. Executives thought he was a genius. He was charming, confident, always had the right answer in meetings. But behind closed doors, he took credit for my work. He gaslit me when I called him out. He played favorites. And when I finally went to HR, they looked at me like I was the problem.
So the person everyone above him thinks is amazing is the same person making your life miserable. And when you tried to flag it, nobody believed you.
Exactly. And the worst part is I started thinking maybe it is me. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I am not good enough. Like he literally rewired my brain in 8 months.
Okay, so here's what I need you to hear. It is not you. What you just described is one of the most well-documented patterns in organizational psychology. Your boss was not just a bad manager. He was running a playbook. And a brand new study from April 2026 just confirmed something researchers have suspected for decades.
Wait, what did they find?
That people with dark personality traits, specifically a combination called the Dark Triad, are naturally drawn to leadership positions. And they get them. Not despite being toxic. Because of it. The traits that make them terrible leaders are the exact same traits that make them look like great leaders during the hiring process.
Hold on, the Dark Triad? That sounds like a horror movie. What are the 3 traits?
So the term was coined by 2 researchers named Paulus and Williams back in 2002. The 3 traits are narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Think of it like this. Narcissism is the person who thinks they are the smartest one in every room. They need admiration like oxygen. Machiavellianism is the chess player. They manipulate, they scheme, they always have an angle. And psychopathy is the person who can watch you suffer and feel nothing. No guilt, no empathy, just cold calculation.
Oh my God, my boss was literally all 3. He thought he was a genius. He was always playing people against each other. And when he threw me under the bus in that meeting, he did not even blink. Like zero remorse.
And here is the important thing. These are not on-off switches. Everyone has some of these traits. You have a little narcissism. I have a little narcissism. That is normal. The Dark Triad becomes a problem when someone scores high on all 3 at the same time. That combination is what creates the pattern you experienced.
Okay, so it is not like my boss is a serial killer. He is just high enough on all 3 that it makes him dangerous in a workplace.
And I want to pause here. This is education, not therapy. We are not diagnosing your boss or anyone else. If what we are describing sounds like something you are living through right now and it is affecting your mental health, please talk to a licensed therapist. Understanding the pattern is powerful, but it is not a substitute for professional support.
Right. But honestly, just knowing this has a name makes me feel less crazy. Okay, so the 2026 study says these people are drawn to leadership. But why do they actually get the jobs? Like, should not the hiring process catch them?
This is where it gets really interesting, and this is what I call the Dark Triad leadership trap. It is a trap because the system is designed to reward exactly the wrong traits. Think about what we look for in leaders. Confidence, decisiveness, charisma, vision, the ability to walk into a room and command attention. Now think about what narcissism gives you. Unshakable confidence, grandiose vision, the ability to self-promote without any shame. A Dark Triad person in a job interview is basically a cheat code.
Wait, so the traits we screen for in leaders are the same traits that make someone toxic?
Exactly. And there is research to back this up. A psychologist named Machiavellianism ran a study in 2010 where they had strangers meet for the first time. And they found that narcissists were rated as more leader-like within minutes. Not because they were actually more competent, but because they spoke louder, they made more eye contact, they used more confident body language, and they dominated the conversation. First impressions are a narcissist's superpower.
That is insane. So basically, a narcissist walks into an interview, and the hiring panel thinks, wow, this person is a natural leader. when really they are just really good at performing confidence.
Performing is the perfect word, and here is the critical distinction. These traits predict leadership emergence, but not leadership effectiveness. Emergence means getting the role. Effectiveness means actually being good at it. Dark Triad people are incredible at emergence. They self-promote aggressively. They network strategically. They take credit for wins and deflect blame for losses. They tell you exactly what you want to hear. But once they are in the chair, that is when the damage starts.
Okay, so emergence versus effectiveness. That is the whole problem. The system is testing for emergence and assuming it means effectiveness.
You just nailed it. And the data on what happens after they get the role is brutal. A researcher named Ernest O'Boyle ran a massive meta-analysis in 2012 looking at Dark Triad traits in the workplace. He found that teams led by high Dark Triad managers had 48% higher employee turnover. Almost half the team leaves, and it is not the worst performers who leave first. It is the best ones.
Wait, 48%? That is almost half the team walking out the door. And the best people leave first?
Always, because the best performers have options. They can get hired somewhere else. So they leave. And what is left behind is a team of people who are either too scared to leave, too beaten down to try, or the ones who figured out how to play the game. The favorites, the yes people, the ones who learned that the way to survive is to kiss up and kick down.
Oh my God, that is literally what happened at my company. All the good people left within a year. And the people who stayed were either miserable or they became mini versions of him. Like little lieutenants doing his dirty work.
And here is why HR almost never catches it. A Dark Triad leader is charming to everyone above them and terrifying to everyone below them. The executives see a confident, results-driven leader. The team sees a micromanaging, credit-stealing, blame-shifting nightmare. And when someone from the team complains, the executives think, well, that does not match the person I know. So they dismiss it.
That is exactly what happened to me. When I went to HR, my boss had already built this reputation as a star. And I looked like the disgruntled employee. He had already won the narrative before I even walked in the door. Quick pause. If you are sitting there thinking about your own boss right now, hit that like button. And subscribe if you have not already. Tell us in the comments what red flag you wish you had seen sooner. We genuinely read every single one. Okay, back to the science. Okay, so the system is broken. Dark Triad people get promoted because they are good at looking like leaders. And once they are in power, they destroy teams. But how do I spot them before the damage is done? Like, what are the warning signs?
There are 5 red flags that show up consistently in the research. And I want you to think of these as a checklist. Any one of them on its own might be nothing. But if you see 3 or more, pay very close attention. Red flag number 1. They talk about themselves constantly. In meetings, in interviews, in casual conversation. Every story circles back to them. Their wins, their vision, their ideas. They rarely ask questions about other people. And when they do, it feels like they are gathering information, not showing genuine interest.
Okay, yeah. My boss literally could not get through a team meeting without mentioning something he did. Even when we were celebrating someone else's win, he would find a way to make it about him.
Red flag number 2. They take credit but never blame. When things go well, it was their leadership. When things go wrong, it was someone else's failure. This is textbook narcissistic attribution. They have an asymmetric relationship with accountability.
That is wild. He literally presented my project to the executives as his idea. And when a different project failed, he threw the junior developer under the bus in front of everyone.
Red flag number 3. High turnover in their previous teams. If you are interviewing somewhere and you notice the team has had 3 managers in 2 years, or half the team is new, ask why. That is data. Red flag number 4. They charm superiors but subordinates fear them. If the people above them love them and the people below them are walking on eggshells, that gap is the signal. And red flag number 5. They make promises they never keep. Grand visions, exciting plans, career development conversations that go nowhere. The Machiavellian part of the triad is all about saying whatever gets them what they need in the moment.
Okay, so 5 red flags. They talk about themselves constantly. They take credit but never blame. High turnover in their teams. They charm up and terrorize down. And they make promises they never keep. Got it. But what about when you are already in the job? Like, how do you know early on?
That is where the first 90 days test comes in. When you start a new job, pay attention to 3 things in the first 90 days. First, how does your boss talk about the person who had your role before you? If they trash them, that tells you everything. Second, watch how they behave when something goes wrong. Do they take ownership or do they immediately look for someone to blame? And third, ask your coworkers how long they have been there. If nobody has been on the team longer than a year, you have your answer.
Oh my God. My boss literally trashed the person who had my role before me on my first day. He said she could not handle the pace. And I thought, wow, I am going to be different. I am going to prove myself. That was the trap.
That is exactly the trap. They make you feel special by putting down the person before you, and you think you are the exception. But you are not the exception. You are the next cycle.
You are not the exception. You are the next cycle. That is devastating. Okay, so what do I actually do if I am stuck working for one of these people? Like, not everyone can just quit.
Right, and that is the reality for most people. So here is what I call the paper trail protocol. It is 4 steps. Step 1. Document everything. Every meeting, every decision, every promise they make. Send follow-up emails after verbal conversations. Hey, just confirming what we discussed. Create a paper trail that exists outside their narrative.
So basically build a receipt book. Every conversation gets a receipt.
Exactly. Step 2. Build alliances laterally. Not upward, not downward, sideways. Find the other people on the team who see what you see. You are not crazy. They see it too. They are just scared to say it. Having allies means you are not alone when the narrative gets twisted. Step 3. Gray rock in meetings. We have talked about the gray rock method before. With a dark triad boss, it means giving them nothing to work with emotionally. Short answers. No personal information. No visible reactions when they provoke you. They feed on your emotional energy. Starve them.
Okay, so document, build allies, and gray rock. What is step 4?
Step 4. Plan your exit. I know that sounds harsh, but the research is clear. Your mental health, your career growth, and your long-term earnings are all better under non-dark triad leadership. A researcher named Robert Hare, who created the Psychopathy checklist, estimated that about 1 in 25 corporate executives scores high enough on psychopathic traits to be clinically significant. That is 4% of the people running companies. You cannot fix them, you cannot change them. But you can choose not to stay.
1 in 25 executives. That is actually terrifying. So the data literally says leave if you can.
The data says protect yourself first. Document, build allies, gray rock, and plan your exit. You do not owe your career to someone who is using you as fuel.
Okay, let me land this plane before my brain catches fire. Takeaway time. Number 1. The Dark Triad is a combination of 3 traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. A 2026 study confirmed that people high in these traits are naturally drawn to leadership roles, and they get them. The system is broken. It rewards the wrong traits. Number 2. These traits predict leadership emergence, not leadership effectiveness. Narcissists win job interviews because they perform confidence. But once in power, their teams have 48% higher turnover, and the best people leave first. Number 3. The 5 red flags. They talk about themselves constantly. They take credit but never blame. High turnover in their teams. They charm superiors but subordinates fear them. And they make promises they never keep. 3 or more and you should pay very close attention. And number 4. The paper trail protocol. Document everything. Build lateral alliances, gray rock in meetings, and plan your exit. You cannot fix a dark triad boss. But you can protect yourself and choose not to stay.
That is all of it. And remember, we are not here to diagnose your boss. We are here to help you recognize a pattern. Because the Dark Triad leadership trap only works when you do not know it exists. Now you know.
If this episode made you see your workplace differently, hit like and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, what red flag do you wish you had seen sooner? We read every single one. Follow the human code wherever you are listening.
The human code. The science of why you do what you do.